Just showing a little boob.
Just
to keep it.
Gotta get those views.
I'll put those back.
No, they're too dangerous.
Knock the world's not
over.
ready. Hi BookTube, I'm Sarah.
And I'm Rebecca, and today we are talking about our September TBR, which is not yet completed.
So at the end of this video, we will be doing hat picks for each other. We'll each be picking a random book from an extensive TBR. Who knows what we're reading in September?
We don't know.
Not us.
No, us.
You'll usually find that my TBRs are really short, and you can tell by the size of our stacks. Not that I like to compare sizes, but mine's always smaller.
I was looking at my Goodreads previous reading, and I guess I read an average of 8 books a week.
Oh my god.
That would be insane!
That's like more than one a day. It would be like verging on 400 books a year. Does anyone read, do you think, 400 books a year?
Let us know in the comments if you read 400 books a year. If you have time. I don't know. Like, what are you doing on YouTube?
Turn the video off. Except ours. Keep ours on.
Just loop it.
Yeah.
Because we're so delightful.
Yeah.
Let you chug that. Yeah.
Gotta start the night off right.
So I have over 100 books that I own that I've never read, and I'm not good at picking books. So to get these 5, I actually put all of them in like a random name picker on my phone and then just had them randomly select 5. This is the first time I did this. I regretted it immediately. We'll see how it goes.
Maybe it'll be great.
And I'll read all of these.
You could.
Plus the random hat picks.
Plus the hat picks. We'll see what those hat picks are.
I don't know. So the first book that was picked, I actually probably would have picked anyway. Yesterday by Kat Winters. This is the only Kat Winters book I have yet to read. It's about a girl named Alice.
Okay.
And she's a psychologist and starts working with a boy. And he starts talking about all of like these past lives that he had. And she starts to wonder if maybe there's something kind of supernatural going on. But she's a very logical person and doesn't necessarily believe it.
It's always the logical ones that fall prey to supernatural shit.
Hey, why can't supernatural shit happen to me?
To the believers, the ones who are like, yeah, ghosts, come at me.
The next book that was chosen, Unravel by Kalia Reed. This book is about a girl named Naomi who's spending some time in a mental hospital and isn't really sure why she's there, and she kind of has vague memories of a summer and people are visiting her, and it's kind of vague, the description. The second paragraph of the description, I don't actually know when it takes place, because afterwards it says, freshly home from college, Naomi moves in with her best friend. Like, is this after the mental hospital? Is it? I'm not really sure.
Interesting.
But apparently she meets a man named Max, a sexy stockbroker.
Ooh,
and she finds herself unable to resist his charms.
Ooh. Is it like while he's brokering some stocks?
Nothing gets me going like brokering stocks.
How's the Dow Jones doing today?
I found this at the dollar store, and it had decent reviews.
What do you think of books that have mental asylum or mental institute storylines? Because I find some of them have a lot of similarities.
I find it rare that they're not romanticized.
I often find it's like the most extreme way of saying I'm unique and different, which is unfortunate. So my first read is not anything thrilling. I'm going to read Romeo and Juliet this September, which is a reread for me. It's been a little while since I've read any Shakespeare. I really enjoy reading Shakespearean type writing. I want to reread this because I'd actually like us to do a discussion about it, because I think that there are some uncommon things to be said about Romeo and Juliet, but I want it fresh. And look at this cute cover. It's like a rose, stars, space. I don't know.
The next book picked is Kite Runner by, oh god, I'm gonna butcher it.
Khaled Hosseini?
I think we all know of this book and the author for the most part. It was huge. I really want to read it, but I am a little bummed out that my randomizer picked it because it picked several really depressing sounding books. And I'm like, great, cool. I don't really know much about it, but it's supposed to be really good. And probably sad.
You're in for a depressing September.
I'm in for a depressing September.
That's okay.
The next book my phone picked for me, Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood. This will be my first Margaret Atwood book.
Have you ever seen the Warm It Up video?
No.
Do you know?
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
There's this video of like a food critic who's explaining how you taste certain things. You put food on your palate and he says like you warm it up, as in he means warm up food on your palate because that's how you taste it better. He has like a spoon and he's like, then he's talking, he's like, you warm it up. And he keeps doing this between everything. I can't do it. Oh my god. Alright, what the fuck are you reading?
Alright, this book is the first in a trilogy about a guy named Snowman. His name was originally Jimmy.
Jimmy the Snowman.
Before mankind was overwhelmed by a plague.
Plague on Jimmy the Snowman.
On everyone. He's struggling to survive in a world where he may be the last human. God forbid, Jimmy.
So it is a plague on Jimmy the Snowman.
Honestly, I don't think I'd mind that much.
This sounds like a roller coaster.
It's such a roller coaster. Woo!
I don't remember this.
No.
I could do a reread.
I don't like when eyes are looking at me on covers.
It's weird, and those are some weird eyes. Why are there always eyes? It doesn't make me want to read it. The next book I'm rereading, Ghost in the Shell. Back in the day, when I was a tween, maybe, I don't know, I was young. I read it, played the video game, watched the anime.
Video game?
Oh yeah.
Damn.
PlayStation 1. I don't remember a lot of it. I remember that I did all of those things. If anything, the video game's the most memorable. So I'm due for a reread, and now is the time.
The next book my phone chose is The Book of Unknown Americans by Christina Enrique. This one also sounds depressing. The fuck, phone. This book is about the Rivera family who have always lived in Mexico, and one day their beautiful 15-year-old daughter Maribel sustains a terrible injury. So the Riveras leave Mexico and go to America, hoping that Maribel can get better. Ha! When Mayor Toro, whose family is from Panama, see Maribel in a Dollar Tree store. I got this at a Dollar Tree store!
What? Oh my god.
It's fucking destiny!
Love your eye makeup today.
You do?
Yeah.
The last book my phone chose is also depressing. A Mother's Secret by Carolyn Haddad. This book takes place during World War II. I found this at a Goodwill, and it had very few ratings on Goodreads. But it is about a mother who had to give up her child. She had to give up her daughter in Poland fleeing the Nazis, and it is about her search for her daughter.
So now we're going to do hat picks, mystery book picks that we have to read. And when you just don't know what to read, you get your friend to pull it out of a hat. Or a teapot if you're a tea hag. So to start with, Rebecca's going to pick a book for me. Please pick a good one.
You are going to read A Wrinkle in Time.
Oh, okay, alright. This is a reread, but I was a child.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be a movie soon. Oprah's going to be in it. It's a big deal. Yeah. So it's time.
I also have never read it. So I think we're going to do a split screen with this when...
Split screen! Split screen!
Split screen!
Keep it fresh. Let's see how that movie is from all perspectives. Next up, we're going to pick a book for Rebecca.
Please don't be depressing.
It's like a magic.
Please don't be depressing.
You are going to read Perma Red by Deborah Magpie Erling.
Perma Red. You picked a depressing one. Or one that I think is going to be depressing. I recently got this at a thrift store. From what I understand, it is about a Native American in a love story kind of setting, but it sounds depressing. Perma Red is a tragic love story that unfolds against a clash of cultures and a beautiful first novel from Deborah Magpie Erling. So I'm going to read Perma Red, a tragic love story.
So, if there are 3 love interests, is it a love square or is it like a love pyramid? Because there has to be a direct line from that one point, and if you think about it geometrically, it has to go directly to the 3 next points. So a square would only go to 2 points, and then
it's
those
like
other 2
love
points
with each other. And
I know, and that's not.
That would
what
be
it
way
is.
more interesting.
It has to be a pyramid.
These freaking amateurs with their love triangles.
They need to get 3-dimensional.
Try a fucking pyramid, mate.
Last up, we are going to pick a romance novel. A cheesy one.
Like a thrift store.
Like, we bought this used, whatever it is. I've got a stack of them waiting.
And we're gonna buddy read it.
We're gonna buddy read it. Whatever comes out of here, we're reading. Why don't you do the honors?
God, there's so many really bad ones. Yes! We are reading Wild Bells to the Wild Sky!
Wild Bells to the Wild
I can't believe I heard that! What are the fucking odds? This book's like haunting us.
We need to read it.
I'm so excited!
Wild bells to the wild sky. Wild bells to the goddamn wild sky.
It's so fucking wild!
Laurie McBain. Everything about this is wild. It's so wild. Let's find out what it's about. Lily Christian was just an enchantingly innocent child of paradise.
Her last name's Christian.
I know. When she fell in love with the sun-bronzed captain who came to take her home to England. But, shamed by resplendent ladies of the court, she bitterly despaired of ever being loved in return. What does that mean? Despaired of being loved in return? Does that mean she thinks that no one could love her in return? As the years passed and fortune's cruelty forced her into a life of... Wait, what? Wait. As the years passed and fortune's cruelty forced her into a life of adventure... what? Cruelty forced her into a life of adventure? What is that? Alright, we'll find out.
We'll find out!
The girl once forgotten became a ravishing beauty who tormented Valentine Whitelaw's heart.
Valentine Whitelaw? So
And
Lily Christian
and Valentine Whitelaw. And as the royal treachery that had destroyed her family now threatened her, he became her champion. What a guy.
What a guy.
Drawn together into perilous adventure and intrigue, they crossed the world, won glorious renown in the service of the Queen, and found their love's destiny past the ends of desire. I still don't know what this book's about.
I don't know what it's about either.
So that's what we're reading this September. Someone read Wild Bells to the Wild Sky with us.
Fucking read this book with us.
Look at this. We're gonna have to do a video about it. Tune in next time when we find out what the fuck Wild Bells to the Wild Sky is about.